Hey, everybody, welcome back to Steve Reads a Comic. We're back after a little hiatus. Rob was hospitalized for a long time with a case of boomercitis. He's better now. He'll go forward being less racist. So
yeah, I'm not even.
Rob's the guy that watches Game of Thrones. He's like, I have a problem with black people in positions of power.
I do not.
Well, it's good you're cured. I'm glad the hospital worked for you. Everything.
I was never cured. It's good to see diversity.
Look, he's even wearing a Cleveland Guardian shirt right now. He's completely cured. He got rid of the Indians and everything.
There is a big X.
I never was.
I don't know what that's all about. It's a big X over the G.
You guys are bad.
He's
this
like
is
that
why I quit last time.
He's like that guy in Major League. Boo! Oh, they'll just blow it.
I still call them the Indians, not because of any sort of like grudge. I'm
it's
glad
because you've been calling them that for 40 years.
Right. I'm just old. I'm just like the fucking Indians, right? It'll take me about. I still call it fucking Gundarina. All right. So
I do.
It's still Jacobs Field.
Yeah.
Like
for the J.
All right.
Like I forget. I'm old and I don't care too. That's part of it too. Is I don't care enough to get it right. I'm sorry, but Rocket Raccoon Fieldhouse. That is too much to say. Dude. It's just Gundarina.
It's Guardians.
Stadium. Like, I'm not trying to keep up with the whatever advertiser is on there.
Yeah, and it changes.
I thought it was what is it called?
Progressive Field.
What is what called?
It's Progressive Park, right?
I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe it changed again.
Is it still Progressive? I have no idea.
I thought it was.
I don't know.
I'm with Sean. I call it Jacobs Field.
It's the Jake. It's like fuck it.
Yeah.
We'll find out because they play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the playoffs. I want to fly home. Yeah.
At noon.
I'm off this week.
All right, so what's new, man? We've been away for a while. I don't even know how long.
Oh, it's been like 2 months, I think. I've read 11 books and I've watched the entire Game of Thrones, all of Game of Thrones. I'm up to date on everything. I had only watched one episode last time we talked. Now
that's how much time has passed.
And when I say I read 11 books, I mean I listened to them on Audible.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense now.
Yeah, I caught up on all my Firefly novels. I read a BioShock novel and then a couple other nonfiction books. One of them was Tom Segura's new book. It was pretty funny. But yeah,
Tina
man.
Fey, I listened to her book years ago on Audible, Bossy Pants. She is one of the funniest people alive. Her book is fucking hilarious. And she's the one who reads it, which is fantastic.
Yeah. I'm reading a book right now called Artemis, and Rosario Dawson is the narrator. And she's really good at it.
You're not reading it. You're listening to it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You can't say you
read. That's the new reading. Old reading's out. This is new reading.
You can't say you read
Rob, back to the hospital.
Oh, it didn't take.
It didn't take. Yeah.
You guys missed making fun of me, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Rob just sent a message in chat that says, "When can I say the N-word?" Like, no, Rob.
I did not send that. Listeners, I did not send that.
Everybody knows you're not racist. It's okay.
Hey, we're all a little racist. It's all good.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, you talk about Game of Thrones. Is everybody caught up on the current House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon, yeah. I am caught up.
So, you saw Sunday's episode? You know what I love about just Game of Thrones, period, even with issues with the last season and everything, is that they're really not afraid to just let things happen. Like, events occur almost every episode.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a death or whatever. You know, sometimes it's just some kid getting his eye cut out.
It was in the first freaking show, the original Game of Thrones. That was always fucking something fucked up. God damn.
Yeah.
That red wedding episode. Oh my God,
Woo.
man. I was like, why is everyone I care about dead? Like, what am I supposed to do? Is this show over now? Like, I totally didn't see that coming. I was like, God damn.
See, I watched that when it came out every Sunday, or I guess it was Sunday. Yeah, it was still Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And like I watched like the like people hadn't really caught on. And then when that episode came, then a bunch of people jumped on. They're like, "Oh my god, you got to watch this episode."
Yeah, I remember seeing memes about it online. I just didn't know what the hell everybody was talking about.
Well, hell, everybody thought, what's that guy's name? That actor, Bean. What's his name?
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Huh? Whatever he was in the first, 2 or 3 episodes, and then they killed him right away.
Off with his head.
He lasted until the end of the season, I think.
Yeah, did end of the first season,
weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he lasted. It was, and that's what I think it was like the second to last episode. And like me, comic book fanboy, I'm like, all right, somebody's gonna jump in and save him now. Somebody's gonna save Ned Lannister.
Oh yeah, he was in jail. Yeah, that's right.
And then I was like, what? What do you mean you chopped his head off? It's like, and then meanwhile, I'm like, well, Sean Bean always dies. I should have seen it coming. But
right. And then both of his daughters had to witness it too. I was like, damn, this show's fucked up. If they would have called
that's what I love about it, though.
If they would have called it tits and violence, I would have got it on board a lot sooner. I had no idea. I guess.
Well, the thing with Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, they have slow episodes, but they're intriguing. Yeah. And then they have action, and then they have slow, but it's a nice little, it's nice dips and humps of, kind of, they don't bore you, but you know what I mean? It's just dialogue, which it's good dialogue. And then they also throw you in some action. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when they do throw in the action, they throw it in. Because there's a couple episodes like all action. I was like, this is great. It's like all a fight.
Dude, did you finally saw the episode with Damien where he didn't say a fucking word, right?
Where he kills the crab feeder?
Yeah. How opposite,
whatever the guy's name
was that episode, man?
That was great too. And to see that much action early on. But to bring it back to the most recent episode, so Steve knows this. I've talked to Steve. I haven't burdened you with this, Rob, because I know you don't care. But I've been working on my audio visual setup again, calibrating my TV.
Oh, you probably thought it was effed up after the last.
I did, and I'm like, I've been calibrating. Everything's been looking great. And it's funny because one of the scenes I tested like not even a week ago, and I told Steve about this. I put on like the long night episode from the first Game of Thrones, like where they battled all night and it was super fucking dark.
Yeah.
And I put that episode on with my new settings and I was like, holy shit, I can actually see it.
Yeah.
And then this episode comes on and I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like checking my I turned off I had to buy a special remote to turn off these two settings in my TV. Because typically you can bring up a service menu, by putting in some codes. That for whatever reason, LG makes you buy a separate remote and then put in a code. So it was like $7. It's like a hotel remote kind of thing. Then you put in the code and then you can get to the actual service menu. And I had to turn off two things that were dimming my screen. One was dimming my screen while viewing. One was dimming my screen while playing video games. So once I turned those two quote unquote features off, because I'd be watching something like The Batman. That's a very dark movie, right? Mm-hmm. Even in Dolby Vision, it's only 400 nits. So I'll be watching it and my TV will be like, oh, he's not watching anything. And then the picture would just slowly get darker, like as like a screensaver thing. And I'm like, and it's funny because it would be like a slow thing. It wouldn't be instant. So I wouldn't notice it right away. And then after a while, I'd be like, I can't fucking see a goddamn thing. And I'd like hit something on the remote and all of a sudden it would like spring back to the right brightness. And I'm like, what the? And I thought there was something wrong with my TV. And no, it was a feature. So I turned that bullshit off.
But didn't they say that last episode was shot intentionally dark or something? I thought I heard something about that.
They said, well, I just read today that they shot it in the daytime and then they added like a nighttime filter to it. I think they went too far with the filter. I just read that today. It's funny because I had forgotten about it till I saw that article today. And I was like, okay, it wasn't just me. They're doing the fucking too dark to see shit again.
I thought it was just I watched it in bed at night, and it was like the TV we got in there is like 720. You know what I mean? So, and it's already crappy. So I thought, well, compared to my TV in the living room. So I was like, It's still better than any TV we grew up with, but
right.
But I just thought I thought it was that, and then I read, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was today. I just saw that the headline was something about dark, and I was like, oh, okay, well that fucking makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't read what it was about.
I was downstairs. The kids were upstairs playing the Wii on the big screen, and I was downstairs watching. I was like, oh, I'll watch it, while they're away since I can't watch it. And I was downstairs, sun glaring in, hitting the TV, and everything's dark. And I was like, well, I'm sure something's happening on screen. I don't know what it is. I could read the subtitles. That was about it.
It's just niece and uncle screwing. You know,
no titties, man. No titties in that scene. That was upsetting. Need more boobies. But I've enjoying the show, and I only turned that show on out of like almost like desperation. I was just like, man, I want to watch something new.
Yeah.
And I think they were up to the second episode by the time I was like, let me check it out. And I got hooked right away. I was like, I'm all in again. I didn't think I would be, but I'm all in again. I love Damon. Damon's like my favorite character.
Yeah, he's great.
And I do love how even like Allison, you see how she started off, innocent, basically a pawn. And now she's kind of not evil, but, she's definitely manipulating things and
she's
things
asking
are getting out of hand.
For the eyes of children. She's evil.
Dude, that last
eye for an eye, bitch.
That last episode was good when they were fighting.
Oh,
that was like, damn. And Damien's
just
fight. He's over there leaning and smirking. I was cracking up.
Yeah.
What ailment does Viserys have, and why hasn't he died from it yet? Like
he's got he's
still alive. I thought he had like leprosy in the second episode, and it's like 20 years later, and he's okay. I'm like, is this guy gonna die or what?
Right. He's got the same thing that remember the guy that the stone disease.
Oh,
isn't that's what I thought he had.
Early stages of the stone disease or something?
I thought he had
something. I just figured it was like the beginning of the stone disease that what's his face had.
I thought it was because I don't know if you remember the first episode, but he had these wounds from the Iron Throne, and I thought maybe it was some sort of infection from that.
No, because he lost his fingers and you could see it looked gray.
Hence leprosy.
Okay.
That's why I was like,
it could be leprosy.
I mean, whatever he's got, the guy looks like the fucking crypt keeper right now. I'm like, is this guy going to pass on or what?
That's funny. I should Google that and see what they say because I really don't know. I assumed it was the same stone disease. Remember that?
Yeah, I know you're talking about stone skin stuff.
And the stone, it was the people from Valeria too, right?
The stone. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
The steps. I don't remember where it's from. I thought with the episode with the wedding, like right before they did the 10-year jump forward,
where Sir
I thought
Crispin
he died in that episode. And like when they did like that, or when they did the like the real quick wedding with Rhaenyra and Laenor, I thought he was going to be dead by the end of that. And then when I watched like the little preview for the next week's episode, and that's when he looked even worse. I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's not that I dislike his character, but I'm like, why is this guy still alive? Like,
well, the end of that episode, he was on the ground, so that's why I thought he was dead too.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Yes, that's why I was like, when they show him jump forward, everybody's older, and he's like,
and then poor Sir Crispin just starts murdering people. I guess that pussy was really good. Once she cut it off, he just went crazy or something, man. I was like, God damn. So
he didn't want to be a boy toy anymore. He didn't like that.
So there haven't been any tits in this one?
There's been tits.
Oh, there has? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, so you got some tits somewhere. You'll be all right.
Oh, yeah. We get titties sometimes. And then, all right, so we're enjoying House of the Dragon, which is great. I tried to watch Lord of the Rings. I think I finished the first episode. I don't know because it's one of the least memorable things I've ever seen in my fucking life.
You didn't even go to...
I haven't continued to watch.
Not even episode 2 yet, huh?
I don't even think... I think I finished the first episode. Not sure. I think I did. And then I was so bored and disinterested by everything and every character that I was like, no, thanks. And then I read today, I was reading comments on something, and this doesn't really mean much. It's the internet, so it's not like strangers' opinions truly matter. But it seems like there's a good portion of people that are unhappy with it as well. So that made me feel a little bit, because like when a lot of people like something, I want to like it too. But it seems like maybe I might be in the majority this time, or it's just maybe the internet as usual. The loudest people are the people who complain. What do you guys think? Have you been watching it?
Yeah, I've been watching it. I told Steve I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy. Like people that like Lord of the Rings, like I didn't like the movies that much. I thought I liked Return of the King. I thought it was a little more action but the first two, even Return of the King, it's like, dude, just get to Mordor already. You know what I mean? It's like, just the movies were so long. But yeah. I mean, I've watched every episode, and I'm just like, it's. I think
anything going on that's interesting.
No.
All right, Steve, what are your thoughts? Steven likes everything. What do you think?
I did like Lord of the Rings. Guy. Yeah, I did like Lord of the Rings a lot. I watched those 4-hour, when I put it in, it's always the extended cut every time. And
there's 6-hour movies, the extended cut.
They're 4, so it's 12 hours if you watch all 3. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think after coming off Game of Thrones, I didn't think I would be able to, fall back into that Lord of the Rings nostalgia. I did, but I'm with you guys. Like I am enjoying it, just not nearly as much as I thought I would. Like they put a lot of money into it, and it shows. It looks great, but like some of the stories, just I don't know. Some of the characters, some of the stories, just it's not as gripping as Game of Thrones to me. Yeah, but it does give you that feel. It gives you that Lord of the Rings feel.
I didn't get that feel at all.
No, I did.
Sign of that feel.
I like the lead. I like the lead character, who they got to play the elf. Both of the elves,
I hate elves
they got
too. That's
Galadriel.
Galadriel
elves as leads.
I like her.
Bad idea.
And
I don't like Galadriel. I think she's snotty and overconfident. And
really?
That's why I hate elves.
I don't like her character.
They're all snotty. They're all snotty.
Yes,
they're
Elrond's not. Elrond's not really. He looks like a bitch. He's not really snotty.
But he is.
I enjoyed the movies. I enjoyed all the movies. I have the extended editions. I'm not like a big Lord of the Rings guy. I thoroughly enjoy the movies, and I have rewatched them quite a few times. This does nothing for me.
Yeah,
to me, it's just bad writing. It's very boring. I can't care about anybody on screen. And again, when you have a lead character like Galadriel, who's just a fucking cunt, I'm not there for that. I'm just not. Like
you gotta watch.
I don't like elves.
Try watching a little bit more. The last
you gotta hook me on the first. You know what? That's another thing. I gotta outgrow this thing where I keep going back to stuff.
You didn't like the first episode? They found like where Sauron was beginning to rise again in that freaking castle there.
It's a prequel. It's a prequel.
Or
it's not again.
He's rising in power, whatever.
And let me think about that. Oh, I don't care. That's right. Because I saw what happens. Again, you have the whole prequel issue.
I love that. I love that setting and everything. I love how they went to the Arctic and found that castle, and they did that. They did their little fight scene. It wasn't as bad as I thought you said it was going to be. She just jumped off the sword.
Bad.
She jumped off the sword. I thought she was doing Matrix fucking backflips and like Trinity fucking upside down kicks. It wasn't that bad.
She was doing flips and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is stupid. They turned it into a Marvel show. It's not Lord of the Rings is not a Marvel show.
It was not that. It was not that bad.
Marvel shows aren't even Marvel shows anymore.
The last episode they showed the creation of Mount Doom. It was pretty cool.
Oh wow, that'd be fantastic. Why would I care?
Yeah.
Why would I care about a mountain?
But you get to see
with no personality.
you get to see how.
Why would I care about that?
You get to see the beginning of Mordor. Like basically, it was neat.
I don't care about Mordor. Mordor's a place.
Hey man, I'm not trying to convince you to watch it. I'm just trying to tell you that people that enjoy it in Lord of the Rings might find that interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
you're doing mental gymnastics here. It's like if they did a Thor movie and they're like, "This is how Asgard came about." I'd be like, "Check, please." Like, I don't fucking care about how places came about in a fucking movie or show like that. It makes no sense. Don't care.
I don't think so. I think if it's something you really enjoyed, you wouldn't mind going back and getting the backstory.
I think the show is underwhelming. How's that?
I agree with Rob.
I agree with you. I thought it could have been a lot better than what it is right now. I'll agree with you.
Rob is our neutral anchor. Like, Steve leans towards he just fucking jizzes on everything he sees.
That's not true. I didn't jizz on anything. I agree. I just agree with you guys.
The difference between Sean and me is I watch shit. I watch shit.
I watch reality shows, bro.
Okay, you take it there.
But the difference is I'm not going to say it's a good show.
Yeah,
I enjoy them nonetheless.
I just saw there was a Love Is Blind reunion that I need to hit up here.
That.
Never again. You guys got me into that shit. I think I fucking stayed up for I don't think I slept for 3 days to watch that shit. It
hooks you.
Dude, I was hooked. And after it ended, I was like, I'll never do that again. It's still shit.
You say that after every Browns game. You always say that. You're always back in.
I do.
The draw for those kind of shows, though, is just watching these beautiful, incredibly stupid people do things, basically. And it's just hilarious because it's so obvious how stupid they are. It's entertaining. It's bad. You shouldn't watch it.
Who doesn't want to watch a train wreck?
Hey, before I forget, there's a show that I keep forgetting that I watch. Like when somebody asks me, is there any new shows? Reboot on Hulu.
Oh yes, that's a
Have
very
you watched
funny show.
it? Oh my god,
I haven't. Tell me about it.
It is hilarious.
It's a funny. It's a sitcom.
It's just good. Yeah.
Okay.
Maggie and I were talking. Maggie and I watch it, and it's almost up there with 30 Rock. It's not quite 30 Rock good, but it's got that kind of fast-paced delivery.
30 Rock would throw shit at you, and you wouldn't even get it until you know what I mean. 30 Rock was just constantly. This is it's almost there. It's just not quite.
It's really good though. It's funny. And it has a great cast. That's the whole reason, because I follow Judy Greer and Johnny Knoxville on social media, so that's how I heard about it, because they've been promoting it. And
I didn't know Johnny Knoxville was that good. I'm impressed with him as an actor.
He's been in tons of stuff.
It's got Keegan-Michael Key. It's got Paul Reiser. It's got what's the chick who did My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend? What's her name?
She played Ant-Man's ex-wife.
No, that's Judy Greer. I'm talking about Paul Reiser's daughter. In the show, I can't remember her name now, but she had Rachel Bloom. Thank you, Maggie.
Nice save.
Maggie's she's my Fred from Howard Stern over there. She just pipes up occasionally.
But she didn't even need to go on the computer. She just knew that.
Oh, I've already forgotten her name again.
Rachel Bloom.
She's in
Judy Greer.
Rachel Bloom.
Rachel Bloom, Judy Greer, Johnny Knoxville. But it's a funny show. Funny. Yes, it's nice to see Judy Greer actually play a lead. She's almost always relegated to a supporting role, but she's actually a lead, and she's fantastic. So the good call, Rob. And when do those episodes come out? I just kind of
I think Tuesday. I think I watched.
Okay. I haven't seen this week's thing. I gotta watch the.
I think 2 or 3 were out when I first. There's only 4 or 5, right?
I think I watched the first 4 total.
Yeah, then the new one just came out. So
I pay for Hulu every month. I never even open up the app.
Oh, I watch a lot of shit.
What's a Hulu original that's good?
I didn't even know Future Man had a season 3.
I never watched Future Man. So
do you never watch Future Man?
I did not.
Oh, do they have anything? Fun. I saw there last time I opened up, there was some kind of JFK movie or something. I forget what it was called, but
they do have some documentaries and a lot of true crime stuff on there. Off the top of my head, I can't. I watched something called Candy. It was a miniseries. Jessica Biel was the star. But it was based on a true crime thing. That was good. I really enjoyed that.
Something. She's got the
weird... it's an 80s, set in the 80s, and it's true crime. That was really good.
They got Reservoir Dogs. Is good. That's an original.
It's a show.
Reservation Dogs.
Reservation Dogs, not Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah. I was like, does Quentin Tarantino direct it?
No, but
the whole reason I signed up for it was back when it was relatively new, is they had an original show, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it starred Lucy DeVito, and I forget who the guy was, but
The Handmaid's Tale, isn't that on Hulu?
Handmaid's Tale, yeah, that's
I don't
on
watch
there.
it. I didn't watch it after the first.
Was that any good? Everybody talks about that one. Was that good?
That was hard to watch for me.
It's very slow.
Well, for me. It's not because it's slow. It's just upsetting because it's like, this is what we're headed to.
Yeah,
like this is where we're headed. I don't like it.
Maybe that's why I stopped watching after the first season.
It's heavy stuff. I don't like it. It's not because of the quality of it. Quality might be too high for me. It's like it's above my taste, so I can't watch it. Are you guys watching Andor?
Yes. Did you watch today's episode?
I did watch today's episode.
Steve?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm up to date. You can talk.
Yeah, that's right. You're on vacation.
Yeah, I've been catching up on everything. It's great. The only thing I haven't caught up in is Cobra Kai.
Let me start with Andor.
Rob, it sounds like he's got a beef.
It's good. It's good acting, but it's like the story's just dragging. It's doing that Marvel shit, man. You know?
Yeah,
it just seems like
today I thought they were going to break into the thing.
Yeah, I'm like, just break into the shit. We know what's going to happen. I mean, and they gave us nothing. Now, I was excited to watch this episode because I thought we were finally going to get some action.
Well, they're trying to build
every episode
character.
Doesn't have to have action, but it's been the same thing. We're at the same point we were 3 episodes ago. You know what I mean?
That's not true. They're
trying to build character for this heist, so if anybody dies, you might feel something. But I'm with Rob. I'm like, let's just get to the heist.
Well, we know he doesn't die. We know what's his face doesn't die because he's in Rogue One, like Sean's.
Yeah, I am enjoying seeing his character though, where he's kind of just a thief, and how he's slowly transforming into everything for the cause, which we know he does in the end. So, I mean, I'm enjoying it. The other characters I really don't care about. It's not that it's
bad. It's just that it just seems like it's not progressing. That's how I feel.
So this might be something that doesn't pan out, but I really like it. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. I don't know if it's gonna pick up. I totally get what you're saying, but what Steve was saying about building the characters, I think that's exactly what they're doing. Is they are building up the supporting cast. So when everything goes to shit or whatever, they can kill them off, and you actually give a shit. And I thought today's episode was really good with that guy who played Microchip on Punisher, when he was talking to him and his whole little backstory about his brother,
the farmer.
Yeah, I liked that.
He's like,
I like all the character interactions so far.
The guy that was like,
and it is a little slow, but
go ahead. Sorry.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
I like getting a little bit of Mon Mothma's history. Finding out, like how she got involved. I like all the covert stuff. I love, basically to me, it has a very Blade Runner-esque feel to it. Very street level, futuristic, but not like the rich people. I mean, Mon Mothma's rich, but like street level rebellion, guerrilla tactics. And then they're even following that asshole security officer. And now I'm like, is he going to join the Empire or is he going to join the rebellion? So that they have me actually thinking about that dude who I thought they would write off after 2 episodes or whatever.
Where is that guy?
I feel like
I've seen that guy in something.
I have no idea.
Okay.
He's been in a lot.
No idea.
Of stuff. I don't know.
But I'm all in on it so far. I think it's the best thing they've done since Mandalorian. I love that it's pretty far removed from the Skywalker part of Star Wars, which is nice.
I'm okay with all that.
Obi-Wan, like when I think back about Obi-Wan, it was just trash. It was like, it had some cool moments, but it was just trash. It was
no reason to bring Leia into that. No reason.
No, yeah, it was trash. It was cool to see, Ewan McGregor, and it was cool to see lightsaber stuff. But overall, it was, man, that was just pure fan service that served no actual. This is kind of cool because it's really getting into like the real meat of like a real rebellion, you know, what it must feel like to be, you know, in the early stages, really. It's kind of scary. It's very scary, you know, like that tension that they're building.
Like when you were talking about with Mon Mothma, and you can see the tension and how it's kind of like destroying her family and shit. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Even at the end, Skarsgård, he was, you know, she's like, we're gonna be here tomorrow. You know, you'll know tomorrow morning. Just let it go.
And that's cool to see the different levels of it too. You have the people funding it who aren't, you know, the boots on the ground of the operation, and their detachment from the whole thing. Like, and then it was just kind of cool too when he like put that wig on and everything. I'm like, what's happening? And then it was like, oh wow, this makes perfect sense. Like he's, you know, we explains where they're getting money from and all that kind of stuff. It was very smart, I thought. I don't, and it's to me, it's called Andor, and I think that's just because he is the one we know from Rogue One. But I think it's very much an ensemble piece that they're building. You know, that it's not just about him.
Weren't you scared from the trailer though? Weren't you scared when they just showed that guy hitting the bell for like a minute and a half? I was like, is that all you got?
It looked very boring.
Right.
It looked very boring. That dude shouldn't have shaved, though. I don't know why he did that. He should not have. He looked much cooler with the beard and mustache, and now he looks goofy. He looks like me when I shave. Basically, that's why I do not shave, because my face just kind of compacts into a Muppet shape. But yeah, overall, I look forward to it every week. And it's probably the most adult feeling Star Wars thing I've ever watched.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
It feels like people who aren't into sci-fi could enjoy this show. For good or for ill. I don't know what the consensus is. I haven't looked at I haven't seen any opinions on it, honestly. And I'm just enjoying it for what it is. I went in thinking like, I don't fucking care about this dude. To now I'm like, this is very interesting. I like strong character work, and I think there's a lot of strong character work going on.
The actors are good and the characters are there, but still, you could.
I enjoyed that.
Mean, Game of Thrones has advanced 50 years in like half the episodes. You know,
that's kind of with the beginning of this recording when I said that on Game of Thrones, like shit happens every episode.
Yeah,
so not much shit. It has been a lot of establishing on Andor, and then like I said, when you go to Game of Thrones, you're like, oh goddamn, you know, like there's no oh goddamn moments yet.
Yeah. Andor had it had the shootout in the streets. That was a fun episode.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't colorful speeder bikes.
The slowest chase in the world.
Don't get me wrong. It's 100% better than Boba Fett. So
yeah.
Oh god.
They introduced a new bot. What did you think of the new bot? Do you care about the droid at all?
Bot. I almost like every new robot.
It's
though.
always,
I'm a sucker
it's always
for robots.
powering down. It doesn't hold a charge for shit. Yeah, I'm enjoying it too, man.
I thought
it's just like it reminded me of my old iPhone. I had to plug it in every.
Just shut off.
What's that bot's name? I don't know.
I was sitting there.
I don't care enough to know
for
it.
2 episodes. Episodes, I was sitting there going, "Who is this crazy-eyed lady? What do I know her from?" And it's from Harry Potter. It's like she always plays some crazy-ass lady.
Yeah, his mother or whatever, or
like
guardian
his mother. And I was like, "Oh, that's who that is." It's so weird to see her in a normal role, you know, not playing some crazy-eyed lady for once.
Swish and flick.
But she was Harry Potter's evil aunt or whatever.
Yeah, so you're okay with all this, even though you know the outcome of his character?
I am, because
you don't know what's going to happen.
It's not. Well, that's the thing. It's not really about him. It's about the beginning of the rebellion.
Yeah.
He's just kind of the name on it. So from that angle of, you know, and I assume again that there's other little terrorist groups out there too. But, you know, seeing, you know, if this is like the main one, if it's all born from this, I think is cool. It's a lot cooler than seeing how a mountain was made, I think. To see how the rebellion was formed.
Well, you haven't seen that mountain being made, sir.
I do like how they incorporated somebody from the inside, because 9 out of 10 times when stuff like this happens, you got to have an inside guy. You know what I mean? You can't just. So it's pretty neat.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What happens to that
I'm
kyber
just
crystal?
not that excited.
I want to know what happens with that kyber crystal.
He makes
he's
a
gonna
lightsaber
he's
gun.
gonna make a triple bladed lightsaber, and then the show will go to shit. He's gonna turn into the next General Grievous.
No, I was just wondering if it eventually went to a Jedi that we know.
No, I have no idea. I have no concern over that. It'll be interesting to find out. But I'm sucked into the character
concept, Steve. Maybe it goes to Ezra or something.
Well, he was on.
I'm looking forward to Ahsoka.
Yeah, me
and
too.
When's that coming out?
I do not know.
Next year.
Is it me, or does it seem like everything's delayed?
Everything's getting pushed back for sure.
I thought everything was caught up after I thought that pandemic shit was done.
No, we're not done with that. It
seems like they're pushing everything even further. Like DC, I don't know what HBO's doing, dude. I mean DC and
they're fucking up all kinds of shit. The new Batman cartoon is getting shopped around now instead of like that seems like a surefire hit on, you know what I mean? Like, new Batman cartoon. Why wouldn't you keep that on the WB?
I'm waiting for John Oliver to get cut.
Right?
From HBO.
Yeah. It was like, that's too informative. Gone.
His show is probably so cheap to make, though, they just don't even know that he's still doing his show.
Yeah.
The budget's like $45.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's such an inexpensive show to make.
But
just like,
honestly,
that's a write-off.
That's the whole reason I kept HBO for so many years, because of him. I mean, it's been like 9 seasons, and I got it because of that. And
I watched
HBO
Thor.
had all this good stuff, and now I don't know what they're gonna do.
I watched Thor: Love and Thunder. It was just as bad, if not worse, than I anticipated. So I'm glad I did not go to the theater. That was a garbage. Like I put my asshole on my TV at one point. I wiped my ass with my television while watching that show. That's how bad that movie was.
Oh, you didn't like any? Bad. You didn't like any of it?
Fucking shit.
Oh my god! So you have the opposite reaction I did. I was crying and you were crying, but for different reasons.
Well, this is, and I think I sent you guys this text, but I'm like, and I don't know what it is. If the movie was poorly written, or is Natalie Portman just bad at dying? Because I've never cried at any of her death scenes in any movies. Star Wars, Thor, Black Swan. So is it that I just don't give a fuck about Natalie Portman?
Yes.
Is she bad at dying in a sympathetic way? Or are all her death scenes not written in a sympathetic way? Because, like, I didn't give a fuck about when she died. Like, I mean, not even... Normally, I'll tear up a little bit, even at the cheesiest, most fucking Hallmark movie death, right? Like, you'll get some tears out of me. Not this movie. When she died in Star Wars.
I was more for him, like, giving his daughter, Christian Bale, letting his daughter...
Oh, yeah. I had the most empathy for Gore.
Yes. Yeah. That's the whole thing. I'm like,
that's when you know the villain is that Christian.
They fucked up
Bale
so
played
bad.
Great. That was great.
Like, I'm watching the beginning. I'm like, yeah, kill that motherfucker. What? He's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And then he's going around killing gods. And then we meet Zeus, and I'm like, kill all of them. Kill all of the. I'm not rooting for Thor at any point. And then what does he do? He makes a child army. Like, holy shit. Is he gonna rape a minority next? Like, Thor is the worst character I've ever fucking seen in my life at this point. He goes from being a stupid idiot for most of the movie, and I'm talking like fucking 90s movie stupid. I don't remember
if we talked about this
stupid.
I don't remember if we talked about this on the podcast or not, but like they really made Thor dumb in this one. Like really stupid.
He's incredibly stupid.
But then halfway through the movie, it's like they just go away from that. They're like, oh, he's smart again.
He just switches, and all of a sudden he's like, he's got some intelligence and some compassion. And
I had a problem.
And then I was watching too when Korg is telling the story of him, and he's getting all buff. I'm like, that made me angry because I'm like, he's only getting buff for purely narcissistic reasons. His strength doesn't come from working out. He's a god. He doesn't have to look good. He's literally, I was like, so that pissed me off. I'm like, no, let him be fat.
And they did that.
He can do everything. He's going to be a little slower.
They did that in the cartoon too. Like they did Party Thor, And I was like, I don't like this Thor at all.
What?
Yeah, Thor is a terrible character and made worse in the MCU. Never liked Thor. This movie
Russell Crowe though as Zeus was.
That was so stupid. That was so stupid. So fucking stupid.
Dude, when he walked down with his skirt, I lost it, man. I thought that shit was funny. I'm sorry.
I wanted Gore to show up and kill everyone.
I was laughing at the goats. I was laughing at the goats.
The goats made me laugh a couple times. They did make me. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm stone faced about the whole thing. The ghost made me laugh a few times. That got old though.
I like the Thor's hammer or whatever coming on screen slowly because it was jealous of the other hammer.
Yeah.
I just bought it in 4K this morning, so I mean, I enjoyed it.
It was a good time. It wasn't a masterpiece.
No, it was a bad time. I had a very bad time.
I thought it was
a very bad time.
I had a great time.
It was not a good time.
I took the kids with me too. So like when the kids were going off and like the kids were like, "This is so cool."
It is a kids movie. I will say that.
Yeah,
it's a children's movie that is not for adults. That was a piece of fucking
hey,
shit.
Those kids were gonna die if it wasn't for Thor. He had to give them some powers, man. He had to do.
No, he didn't have to give them power. He could have done all that by himself, like he did anyway.
No,
that was fucking stupid.
He had to
you don't enlist children. Just goes back to my issue with Batman. Stop enlisting children into your army, you fucking psychos. Like we yell at other countries for doing this shit, and then our fucking superheroes are okay.
But
no,
we don't give the kids superpowers in real life. So he had to fight
we just hand them rifles because that's what we have.
He had to fight the bad guy. The kids had to take care of the shitty shadow monster.
Here's the thing. Think about it from a writing standpoint. You're thinking about it from a moron standpoint. Look at it as if you're the writer of it. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do any of that because you're the fucking writer. Like, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to be like, the only thing I could do is arm children. That's it. That's the only option.
All right. Well, in this,
write a different fucking scene. Write something else. It's not that fucking hard.
Or give them powers so they can defend themselves and not get slaughtered by shadow monsters. Which is what they did.
Just defend them. Be a badass. Be a superhero. Don't enlist children into your fucking army.
It was definitely more kid movie.
Oh, it was asinine. It was such fucking hot garbage. So the new Black Panther trailer drops, and I
can't believe you made it through, Thor. First of all, like, how did you do it?
It took me about 3 days. It took me 3 days to get through it. No lie. Like it took me 3 days to come back. Like I had to keep turning it off and come. Like I was like, Maggie would be like, "Hey, Sean," I'd be like, "That's a good reason to turn this off." Like any excuse to turn it off, basically, I was taking.
Sean had to put in Winter Soldier to clear his palate afterwards. He's like, this is what Marvel movies used to be.
Right. And I do that, dude. I do that a lot. I do. I will go back and put in a Captain America movie or an Iron Man movie or something and be like,
any of the Captain America movies, that'll just clear it. I mean, they're all well written.
So listen to this though. So after shitting all over Thor, and you might remember that I shit all over Venom Let There Be Carnage, I revisited Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, okay.
And it is still a terrible movie.
Yes.
But I have found a reason to like it. And that is I get to see Venom.
Because you're a Venom fan? Okay, I was going to say.
Yes. No, that's it. It's literally, it's not found in
it was
well,
cool.
What do you know? He lets things go because he likes certain things.
Hey,
like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I've always said that, though. It's hard for me to like a Doctor Strange movie unless it's really good because I don't like Doctor Strange.
Dude,
now the Venom
Carnage
thing
was better than Lord of the Rings by far.
Absolutely,
I think so.
At least that movie fucking moves and shit happens.
That's what I liked it. You guys shat all over me for liking it.
I did, and I apologize. Well,
no, it's okay.
It's still bad.
It's still bad.
It's not a great.
It's still not a good movie. I can't defend it.
I liked going to the theater and seeing it.
I enjoy it the same way. I think Steve enjoys Moon Knight, where you're just like, well, it's the only Moon Knight thing out there. So what else am I going to do?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you're just like, what? This is what they gave me. I'm going to make the best of it kind of thing. It's like making the best of a bad situation. So, dude, but I got to tell you, that movie impacted my passion for Venom so bad that I started selling all my Venom shit last year because like Boba Fett I won't get back because that's the only medium for Boba Fett is the movies and the shows, and they took Boba Fett and just took a big shit on him. So I don't think I have any Boba Fett stuff left.
Oh my God.
It's that upsetting for me. Jesus. And they took a character
that's brutal.
And Venom. So with Venom, I started selling off my comics. I sold off a bunch of figures.
But I
don't know can we talk about this more? Like, dude, you are a huge Boba Fett fan. You don't have anything? Dude, that is some dark trauma that you face in this book of Boba Fett, man.
It was so bad.
You need some Xanax, man, or something. You need.
We could. I started taking Zoloft.
That was way too much. Ago. You can't just because that shit happened. The series,
man.
But that's the character. So here's the difference between like Venom and Boba Fett, or Batman and Venom and Boba Fett is. Like, okay, Batman or Venom, they exist in comic books, TV shows, movies, whatever. Boba Fett, his whole canon universe is what we saw. So when they took that character, like, that's it. Like, that's who Boba Fett is. He's a piece of shit. Like, he's a pussy who doesn't do anything. And like, it's just bad. And I'm like, okay, if that's Boba Fett, I don't like Boba Fett.
But that's not
my idea of Boba Fett was so much better than what Boba Fett was. And now that I know what Boba Fett is, I'm like, I don't like it. I'm done with it. But I will never get back to that. I will never.
But that's the thing, though. He could still, he could still be in. You could keep him for a year.
Yeah. It's like you said.
You can remember the good times.
Yeah, like I love the first half of Moon Knight, and I still love
Moon Knight
all the
comics.
I love all the comics.
You have Moon Knight comic. You have comics. You don't.
There's Boba Fett comics.
The Moon Knight you can enjoy.
There's Boba Fett comics. Have you read them?
Not canon ones. I have read Boba Fett comics, but the canon Boba Fett that is most forward in my mind is that dude who showed up, let Fennec Shand do everything, spent most of his time in a Bacta tank.
Just you got to erase that.
My
shit.
Boba Fett is the Mandalorian now.
Here's where you went wrong. Here's where you went wrong. In 20 years, that won't be canon anymore. That'll be a different Star Wars universe.
Yeah, they'll get rid of that.
The Boba Fett that you remembered will come to fruition.
And you're like, oh, I sold all my shit.
Like, shit, I sold all my toys.
Nah.
Here's why, too. Go back to the time when you were so happy. You were like, knee rockets. Remember that time. Remember the man.
I do.
Yeah.
That was Mandalorian.
I was up here. And then I was down here.
Yeah,
you can't even see where I was. It's not even on camera. That's how far down I went.
You have to focus on the good, not the bad.
I did. I enjoyed that. But then when they gave him his own show, and I was so excited, and then that's what they did with the character, I was just done.
He's like,
dude, he was so excited for like 6 months. He was just like, I can't wait to December. I can't wait to December.
Every time he looks at Boba Fett, all he sees is like neon speeders go through his head.
I just shake my head now. It's so disappointing. So anyway, I went through something similar with Venom. Started selling off some of my Venom. I sold my Venom figures.
You didn't sell your
but
comics,
again, I sold off not all of my comics. I sold out a good chunk of my comics.
I thought you were trying to collect them all.
I was. That's how upset I was, though. And then the whole reason, and this was probably a month ago, I saw they're coming out with this Venom statue that I have since pre-ordered. And it was so cool looking. I'm like, I can't just abandon this character because of one garbage movie, right? So I'm like, I got to watch it again. So I bought the movie. I did.
There's only one. There's only the first. Okay, there's
one
only
garbage movie. There's two.
Yeah,
movies.
one garbage. I think the first one
garbage.
was much better.
Mm-hmm.
Still not like a great movie, but much more enjoyable. So I revisited it with I had to go in with a different perspective, a different mindset. And kind of one of those things where you just kind of like just grip the armrest when the bad jokes come.
I don't know why I don't know why you can't just suppress those bad feelings like you did with Venom for Boba Fett. Like, just do the same thing you did with
because here with Venom, there's an ongoing comic I'm reading that I'm enjoying. There's all this Venom stuff I can refer back to that's actually fun and likable. Whereas when I think of Boba Fett now, I just think of this dude in a Bacta tank in his underwear now. Like, that's Boba Fett. There's some fat, fucking short New Zealander in a Bacta tank. That's Boba Fett now. Thanks a lot, guys.
Right? Like, why did they cast that guy? Right. Why did they cast him?
He was short, fat, old dude who hangs out with fucking sand people. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so bad. So bad. You're bringing back trauma here. You're triggering me. So I go back. I rewatch Venom versus Carnage, or it's not called Venom versus Carnage, but I watched the Venom Carnage movie. And the third act, the Carnage Venom fight is awesome. And I actually got like warm feelings from it because I was like, wow, this fight is so cool to see on screen because I love Venom and Carnage so much in the early 90s. And Venom was one of the first characters, aside from like Spider-Man and Batman, that I got into. Like, he's one of the new characters I got into when I first started reading comics in 93. He was on the cover of Amazing Spider-Man 375. I was at Mark's with my mother, and I saw Amazing Spider-Man 375, and it was Spider-Man on one side and Venom on the other. I'd never seen Venom before that I remembered, and I bought the comic. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks awesome. So it's like one of the first comics I ever bought.
Too bad you
wasn't one of the covers. Wasn't one of the covers of Carnage? Wasn't he in front of the stained glass window like he was in the movie in that church? Or
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
There's some artwork out there like that. But then at the end of that issue, it was like, check out Venom in his own series. And the very first Venom miniseries had just come out. So I bought Venom Lethal Protector #1, and it was just all downhill from there. So it was like Venom and Deadpool are like the two characters from the 90s that actually came out while I was alive. Almost every comic book character I like has, existed long before I was even born. So it was just kind of cool. And they kind of reflected more of a modern sensibility. They were dark. They killed people. Venom's like my kid's favorite character. It's like Rob's kid's favorite character. It's kind of weird.
Dude, look, if you're on YouTube, look at Sean's statue behind. Like, look how cool he looks. Like, who doesn't like that? That dude looks so cool.
But yeah, so I'm recollecting getting back my Venom stuff that I sold off slowly. Most of it honestly wasn't valuable. I literally had one issue I sold that was valuable that I got like around $300 for or something.
Well, at least you can sell things. I just hold on to everything. I should probably sell some shit.
I do. I try to take the advice of this one YouTuber I like who says you have to let the hobby fund itself. So if I get sick of something for whatever reason, if I'm just bored with it or there's a better version, then I'll sell it to fund getting something new.
The old trade in.
And that's I just like all my upgrades. I've gone from like figures, little 6-inch plastic posable things to this fucking poly stone stuff to this thing. I wish you could see the paint job. You can't tell the paint job on this, but it's fucking crazy looking. Like it's like a car paint job. I don't know if it'll show up in the light or not, but there's like all this crazy. Why is it not working? But like I don't know if that shows up on camera or not. But
the only statues Rob has is the stuff we buy him. Only figures.
Right.
We're like, Rob, you gonna get
kind
into
of see
this?
like that?
Yeah.
Do you see the sparkly rainbow color?
I'm just trying to appease you. Okay. It looks like shit on my video.
Okay. But yeah. But I didn't let that ultimately ruin my. And I did for like almost a full year though. I was that upset about that movie. I revisited it. I can enjoy. I've watched it like 10 times now. As like light. It's so bad. I'm not recommending that movie to anyone.
You watched it 10 times?
I've watched it a bunch of times.
Jesus
I used it to calibrate my TV because it has the intro has a lot of pure black, and I was trying to make sure I wasn't getting crushed blacks on my screen.
This is a shocking revelation that I'm hearing 10 times from somebody that said I can't watch that.
I watched it a lot. I don't know how many times I watched it, but I know my family has watched and been like, "Are you watching this again? Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "Dude, I love Venom again. I don't know what to tell you. I'm happy to see him on screen. It's mostly terrible, but I really do like the fight at the end. That's that's the main thing. I like the fight at the end. Venom looks cool. They gave him a cool voice. Tom Hardy's Venom voice is really cool, I think. And then, again, seeing Carnage, Woody Harrelson is like the worst. I don't know why the fuck they cast Woody Harrelson to play Carnage.
Every time I just picture him in my head, I just start laughing. Bad. Like Cletus.
I have nothing against Woody Harrelson, but I remember watching Natural Born Killers, which was like a very controversial movie for the violence. And I remember watching that the first time and being like, yeah, that guy's never going to be intimidating to me. Like Woody Harrelson is he's not an intimidating guy to me. Hi, guys, bro.
Even when he's completely insane and a mass murderer.
Yeah. Because he just sounds goofy, just sounds dumb. And again, I don't dislike him. And I think he's great in other roles. I loved him in Ed TV. But no, that's not Carnage. Get somebody that can do like evil. can do like Carnage was always like evil and scary. Woody Harrelson is neither of those things. Like I would hang out with Woody Harrelson. Like he seems like a great guy. Even when he's
Edward
Carnage.
Norton in Primal Fear. That was scary.
Edward Norton would have been great. That's brilliant. I didn't even think of that. I keep thinking of
that always scares me.
What's that kid? He was in the kid who was in the Star Trek movies whose Jeep killed him. What was his name?
Oh, Chekhov.
Anton, what's his name? Yelchin. Anton Yelchin.
Wait a minute.
The little skinny redhead
What do
dude?
you mean his Jeep killed him? What are you talking about?
He got crushed by his own car. He got crushed by his own car. Yeah, he got trapped.
Oh my God. Was he drunk? What happened?
No, he got out to check his mail, and his Jeep rolled towards him and like crushed him.
What a shitty way to die. Oh, it sucks so bad.
And it resulted in, so we have a Jeep Renegade, and they do like firmware updates on cars, you know. And one time after that happened, one of the firmware updates makes it so that our emergency brake engages every time we put it in park now because of that incident.
Nice.
Yeah.
All I can picture is that scene from Austin Powers where that steam rollers come in real slow at him. He's like, no! It's like, how do you not get out of the way of your Jeep? Come on, man.
It's probably real fast. Yeah, I don't know the details of it, but anyway, that kid had the perfect build. He was a redhead. But yeah, Edward Norton though. Oh my God, he would have been amazing.
Dude, that transformation in evil. Primal Fear when he goes from that poor pathetic kid to the look in his eyes, dude. It was like, oh shit. That's
a great one.
Too bad nobody wants to work with him anymore.
What is he just he's just an asshole to work with? Is that what they say?
That's why he got fired as the Hulk.
But yeah, I'm back on my Venom kick. Maggie's very excited. She's not excited.
But yeah, not excited at all.
Not excited at all.
All right, you guys said DC was doing some shitty things earlier and HBO was fucking up, but I thought they did a great job with Sandman. What'd you guys think?
Oh, that has nothing to do with HBO Max, but okay.
What?
So here's the thing. DC doesn't own Sandman.
Netflix, that's right. Sorry.
And DC does not own Sandman. When they did, back when that line came out with the Vertigo imprint, what was cool about that is like that was like creator owned stuff that they did.
Oh.
And so Neil Gaiman and like Sam Keith, the guy who created the Max, he's considered one of the creators of Sandman as well. So that's all Neil Gaiman. That has nothing to do with DC. Do not give them credit for that.
Okay, because it said DC at the end of it, and that's where I first read it.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they have something to do with it, but the creative side of it, absolutely not. But so I don't know what kind of licensing goes on there. But
man, I watched that like I don't know when did that come out? Like 6 months ago.
Yes, it's been a while. That long, it's been a while.
It seemed like it.
Anyway, I fucking love Sandman.
I'm sorry, I just caught up on all this shit.
I wasn't expecting to. I remember trying to reread the comics on this show, and I was like not into it. I didn't. Not that I read a lot of Sandman in the '90s. It was one of those things I delved into because everybody in all the like Wizard magazine was talking about it, but I came in the middle of it. I didn't know what was going on, and I just bounced off it pretty quick. And then I revisited it for this podcast. Couldn't get into it. Put the show on. First time I put the show on, I was like, I don't fucking care. And then I came back to it. Couldn't stop watching it. I was just like, all right, because it wasn't bad. Like when I first watched it, wasn't that it was bad. It was just like, I just didn't care at first about him being, this God being, how I feel about gods. And
you're right.
Just kill all the gods, right? Just kill them all.
When you said you liked it, I was like, wait a minute, what? There's a lot of gods in this one.
Brilliant storytelling, though. Brilliant storytelling. The first arc with that guy with I don't remember his name, but who had his stone
or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, that whole arc was amazing.
Man, you know what? I read the first volume, and the last volume I think is when he meets his sister Death, and she goes around, and he watches him, take people, to the afterlife or whatever. And I had totally forgot about the diner scene. Like when I first read the first volume of Sandman, that diner scene was so fucked up. And then when that episode started playing, where everybody just starts killing each other and stuff, I was like, oh man, completely forgot. That was great to watch on screen.
That was really well done. I don't have the original comic to refer to. I don't have that memory, obviously, but just as a show, whether you've read Sandman or not, it is very good, very entertaining. Can't recommend it enough.
When I first saw the dude, when I first saw Morpheus, all I could think of was Robert the Smith from South Park. Remember the lead singer of The Cure? Remember they used to make fun of Robert Smith in South Park. You don't remember that?
I do know who Robert Smith is, but
yeah.
No, I do.
Yeah, well, he was like in South Park. They'd make him like one of the giant robot, the people that grow. What was that show?
Oh yeah.
What was that show we used to like where that guy would
Voltron.
grow? No.
Oh,
the one nobody's watched but
you're talking about like Ultraman type stuff.
Spectre Man. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so they did like an episode like of that. Like Robert Smith would fight Mecha Streisand. It was like Barbara Streisand, but she was like Godzilla or something.
I remember Mecha Streisand, obviously.
Yeah, and they're
like
obviously every time he would fight her, they'd be like Robert the Smith. That's all I could think of. But I thought he did a good job as Morpheus. I really enjoyed him. I thought.
Go outside, bud.
I thought. Did
somebody take Cosmo out?
When I first read Volume 1, I'm pretty sure it was John Constantine. From the comics, John Constantine. Did they turn her into Joanna Constantine for this?
I don't know. But I honestly don't. I don't know because I didn't read it.
I bet you because DC owns the rights to Constantine. I bet you for I bet you.
I gotta investigate.
But in the comic, I could have swore reading John Constantine. So like, it says DC at the end of the show, so they own something.
Yeah, DC owns Constantine.
I didn't know if they were just switching it to a girl to be more universal like they are today.
Okay, I gotta do a correction. DC does own the rights to Sandman.
Huh.
I'm on Neil Gaiman's website here. Damn it, where'd it go?
So DC bought Vertigo.
Well, DC created Vertigo. It was a line of adult.
Okay.
It was literally like an R-rated line of comics, and I was always under the impression that it was all creator-owned stuff. But apparently not.
Well, that's why you can cross over with concept.
I want to make a concept of blah blah blah. Neil Gaiman says, "I don't own Sandman. DC Comics does. If you want to make something using the material I did for Sandman, you have to ask them." But apparently the creators of the show went to Neil Gaiman for the show. And I've been following Neil Gaiman on Twitter for years because he's a great writer and he's funny.
They did a Lucas. They just said, "Hey, this is what we're doing."
Well, no, I don't know
let him tour
if he had it, how that worked with him, but he's been heavily involved. But again, because the internet is the internet, and this is kind of funny, on his Twitter feed, he'll respond. People will DM him or tweet to him complaining about the Lord of the Rings show and his involvement in that, and he's always like, "Yeah," he's like, "I'm sorry. Next time I'm involved with the Lord of the Rings show, I will talk to them," because he has nothing to do with it. But like, people are so fucking stupid that they're confusing him with fucking J.R.R. Tolkien. Apparently,
I wish he would have been involved with it.
Right? But it's happened multiple times. That's what's funny about it. It's like multiple times people are like, "Dude, Lord of the Rings sucked. You ruined it." And he's like, "I'm terribly sorry. I ruined Lord of the Rings by not being involved whatsoever." But yeah, so correction. He does not own the rights to it. I always thought he did. That is incorrect.
I was a little disappointed in the reveal of Lucifer. I was like, "Oh, Gwendolyn Christie, come on!"
I loved that because did you know her? Had you seen Game of Thrones yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so I liked her on Game of Thrones, so I thought it was cool to see her.
Brienne
I just liked her as an actor. I don't know. I just liked her a lot, and I thought she made a great Lucifer. I thought I thought that whole battle was really cool too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I remember
like the way they fought each other.
Reading that in the comics, that was really cool.
That was awesome. I was like, how are they gonna fight? And it was fucking sweet. That whole show is so good.
Did you watch the cat episode?
Yeah. I did, and that's.
I was gonna say I like the individual stories they had that didn't really necessarily dive into the overarching story, but they were just the one-offs, and I really enjoyed that. And then I got to the cat, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because I hadn't read anything like that in the comic, man. I only read volume 1, so I had no idea what was going on. I was like,
did not enjoy the cat episode.
I kept checking my watch. I'm like, it's 5 minutes now. Are they going to keep doing this? And I was like, oh, okay. It's a whole thing. Gotcha.
I did like the other standalone episode, though. I did enjoy that one.
Which one was that?
The Calliope, where he had the muse held hostage.
Yeah.
It
took place the same time as the first couple. Yeah.
But yeah, I liked that one. But yeah, the cat one, it's funny because like I put that one on. I'd finished the series and I knew that was like kind of an extra thing that didn't tie in.
Yeah.
And like I put it on like a day or two later. I got like 5 minutes in. And I'm like, okay, never mind. I turned it off. But again, I came back to it.
And it was such a stark contrast from the last episode because it's like Gwendolyn Chris or Lucifer's like, all right, we're about to battle or something. I was like, oh, there's one more episode left, and I'm like, sweet. And then it starts with the cat, and I'm like, what is going on? What happened?
Well, see,
I thought we were having a hell battle.
See, they hadn't released it right away. Like it wasn't
right.
It was like a bonus delay,
episode.
And I clicked it and I saw, oh, they got more episodes. And I was like, I thought it was done. So I clicked it and I was watching and I was like, I think there's something wrong with Netflix because I'm starting to watch something else. So I hit return to make sure I had the title and everything. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm watching this.
This is the same, man. There was also a
Did
story.
You like the whole series though, Rob?
Yeah, I liked it. It was enjoyable.
There was also a story with the one where he keeps going to that guy back every 100 years. I thought that was fun.
Oh too. Yeah, I liked that one. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was something.
It was good because, like Sean said, they had a small arc, but then they also kind of had individual episodes, and I like that
but still had an overarching thing too. So.
Mm-hmm. I like episodes like that where you can throw in just something that's totally. I mean, the cat episode maybe not. But the other ones, there were some episodes where they could stand alone.
Yeah, I think that's why they put the cat episode at the end and weeks later. Because if they would have thrown that in like episode 6, people would have been like, I'm done with this show.
I think that's one of those where they're like, oh, this will be a cool episode. We'll do an animated one. And they're like, oh, I don't know.
And I understood the theme of it. Obviously, the theme was meant to be a lot deeper.
Yeah.
But I just didn't care.
Right.
I didn't care.
And I like cats,
right.
And I was still struggling.
Right.
She-Hulk, anyone?
Oh, She-Hulk.
So I've been watching She-Hulk, and I reached a conclusion about 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm going to keep watching it.
I will.
She-Hulk is made for white women who think Friends is the best show they've ever seen. That's who the target audience is for She-Hulk, basically. If you're a white woman who thinks Friends and The Office are the best shows that have ever been on TV, and maybe like Grey's Anatomy. I've never seen that, but I'm going to throw that in there too. Fuck it. That's the target market they're going for. However, that being said, I love Tatiana Maslany.
She's good. I do like her.
This is one of the only times where I don't want to see her transform into Shrek. Somebody called her Shrek in an episode, and I was like, oh my God, that is more accurate than they knew when they filmed that. They didn't know that she was actually going to look like fucking Fiona from Shrek. And she does, and it's upsetting. And again, I'm like, please just stay as Jen Walters. Tati. Dude, I couldn't help like the episode where all those dudes are like, oh, I'm not into her unless she's She-Hulk. I'm like, that's the most unrealistic shit I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was so unbelievable. It's like, bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it, but I can't get a laugh, you know? Like I've never had like a laugh out loud moment. Like even when I think that Captain America having sex, that was supposed to be funny, and I'm like, that was all over the internet.
It's very much Friends. It's very much Friends humor. If you're into Friends and you think Friends was a comedy, this is the show for you.
Yeah.
I watched Friends when it first came out.
I only watched Friends because
I've never watched The Office, and I've never watched the other one you said. So
yeah, but well,
one out of three,
Grey's Anatomy is like a drama, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah,
my point is, it's just not good.
It's better than it's better than Miss Marvel. It was better than that. So
I'll agree to that, even though I've never seen Miss Marvel.
Well, Miss Marvel is more for kids. This is for
these episodes
adult kids.
Yeah.
This to me, She-Hulk has the opposite problem, where it seems like they just end the episodes. They're just kind of like blocks of like a couple episodes. I don't know.
I mean, I don't hate it though. Like I enjoy.
Right. I don't mind. Like I look forward to watching it. It's
who's the guy that plays Abomination?
Super lightweight.
Yeah,
I thought
it's like super lightweight entertainment.
Yeah,
and,
it is. It's very light.
And again, I if I like the lead character, that helps, and I do like her in that role.
Yeah.
And I know there was like this big controversy, I guess I found out about the whole twerking scene, but I'm like, that's kind of the humor of the whole show. I don't know why people are upset that she's twerking. That's literally not above or below any of the jokes they've done so far.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
why
like
people are upset.
It's the joke that's like, oh, I'm sure a lot of people are laughing at that. It's just not me.
Yes.
You know? And I'm sure that's funny to a lot of people.
Yes. It's it just it's one of those things. It's like, to me, it's just fine. Like I don't have strong feelings about it. It's like, it's not bad. I think in the little bit of She-Hulk comics I've read, I think it fits that tone. So they're staying true to the character in that regard.
Yeah.
A lot of her comics were, had a very tongue-in-cheek, humor-based stories. I would like to see more courtroom stuff, but
I
that's
definitely
just me.
would. I love courtroom stuff. Does anybody?
But yeah, it's just like this benign little thing.
I keep waiting for Abomination to be Abomination. Like, is he done? Like, he's in therapy now and he's good. Like, or does anybody know?
I think he'll probably Hulk out in the finale or something. Have a big fight scene. But I don't really care though. I like seeing Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky. Like, he's kind of hamming it up, and I do like it. He's pretty funny.
Yeah. Doing this, I don't mind it, but I thought they did it with the Mandarin. I'm like, oh, they're doing this again. It's like, okay, whatever.
Well, I guess there are some similarities there. But I thought that was funny too, though. So maybe I'm just a sucker for that.
Well, I do too, but it's not making my side hurt funny, you know?
No. Well, no, that's the thing. It's just, it's not, I don't think I've laughed at all watching this show, but like, I'm not sitting there like, it's not like watching fucking the Girl Busters movie where I'm just angry and ready to go on a rampage.
Wasn't that bad?
Yeah, it's nothing like that. It's just, it's very benign. It's fine. And I'm sure there's probably, there's nothing wrong with making a show for white women who think Friends is the best thing that ever happened, or Sex in the City, or whatever is their cup of tea. There's nothing wrong with that. And She-Hulk's the character to do that with, in my opinion. Again, with the little bit of the She-Hulk comics I've read, it makes sense. So I don't really have a bone to pick there. It's just, it's much like Miss Marvel. I am not the target market, so I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
With Boba Fett, I took offense to it because I am the target market, and they pissed me off. So I am precisely the Boba Fett target market, and that's the shit they gave me.
So is Star Wars out of the movie business? Is Disney are we done making Star Wars movies?
Nah, there's too much money to be made there.
They got the one directed by Sean's favorite director. She's directing a Star Wars movie.
Oh, that got pushed back.
Oh, did it?
So I thought that got canceled. Rogue Squadron.
Oh, did it get canceled? I know it got pushed back. I know they canceled the Gina Carano show, or movie, or whatever it was going to be. I mean, it's been a while. I think they're probably kind of going back to the drawing board with it after the last trilogy was like, just turned out to be total dog shit, and nobody.
Just do the Republic.
It's so bad they don't even make memes out of it anymore.
Yeah,
it's just bad.
Didn't like Leia and Luke have kids or whatever?
Leia and Luke.
in the comics.
Yeah.
Weren't they supposed to?
Leia had kids. That was
Weren't they supposed to be badasses?
Kylo Ren.
Luke was married.
To Mara Jade.
Yeah.
Mara Jade. Yeah. Who's that? Who's Mara Jade?
She used to be bad, and then she.
That was Luke. That was Luke's wife in the comics.
Okay.
In the Dark Horse comics in the 90s.
Was any of that story good?
Leia did have a kid. They had Kylo Ren. Remember that great character?
I meant Mara Jade, whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, the books were much better than the than what JJ had. JJ had material. That's what they kept saying. Well, we don't have any. You had plenty of freaking material.
Well, Kathleen Kennedy said that. Kathleen Kennedy was like, we don't have, it's not like Marvel where you have all this backstory that you could refer to. It was just like, you dumb bitch. Like, you have years of comic books and video games.
You think they're just trying to stay away from the Skywalker stuff moving forward, or what?
Be done.
No, I doubt that. I feel like they're too stupid to know that we don't need any more of that. But I just know, like, with this Andor show, like, please don't bring any Skywalkers into it. Like, and it's, with that season of Mandalorian, when they brought Luke in at the end, that was great. And I thought it was going to be terrible, and it was actually great. But then Luke showed up again.
Right.
Boba Fett. And I'm like, okay, stop it now.
Right.
Too much. We had our moment. Stop it. Just stop.
Yeah. You went to the well once too many times. That's how it goes.
Right. I thought it was great in Mandalorian, even though I didn't think it would work out well. And then they did. I'm like, okay, you can't just have him pop up all the time, bro.
Okay.
Unless if they do a Luke Skywalker show, I would watch it. I would totally watch a Luke Skywalker show. But stop having him pop in here and there. I don't like that anymore.
Okay, well, let's talk about the season 3 of Mandalorian trailer. Have you seen that yet, Rob?
No, I didn't know it was out.
Damn, dude, that looks good as fuck, man. That's like so many Mandalorians flying around, man. It looks so good.
I have seen it.
Oh, did you see it? Okay. So I'm all in for that, man.
I didn't get that excited.
Yes.
I don't know why.
I'm not even a
I got excited.
I'm not even a Mandalorian guy, but I got goosebumps.
I mean, when's it coming out?
December? Steve has a $300 Darksaber, and he just said he's not a Mandalorian guy. I'm not sure what makes you a Mandalorian guy, but buying $300 merchandise makes you a Mandalorian guy.
Growing up, I was never Boba Fett or anything like that. Yes, since the show, I am, But I meant, you know what I meant. The group, Mandalorian. What are they? A religion?
The Mandalorians. Just refer to them in the plural then. Because the Mandalorian is Din Djarin.
Mandalorians. So. Yeah. Definitely a fan now. Well, I was actually playing with the lightsaber
like we're gonna get a little more
earlier the other day.
Looks like we're going to get some backstory, so that's cool. How old is Bo-Katan? The timeline is... I'm all effed up in the head. It seems like she should be older.
She's like Viserys.
I have no idea. She should have been dead. I have no idea.
Yeah,
and
I'm
not even thinking about that kind of stuff.
She looks great for 95.
Do Mandalorians age slower?
Is anybody reading any comics? Anybody read anything recent? I know Rob isn't, but Steve, what are you reading?
The last thing I read was the first couple issues of Secret Wars. That was the last thing. The original Secret Wars, not the newer one.
What do you think of those?
That's good.
It's all right. I thought it was cool. Little battle arena. Is it's the old comic, so it's real cheesy and slow and
yes, it's hard to read.
I wanted to start with that, and then I want to go to the newer, updated Secret Wars, and then get ready for all these movies I know nothing about coming out soon.
Is it Secret Invasion or Secret Wars?
Secret Invasion. It's Secret Invasion, but I'm sure there'll be a Secret Wars tie-in or something. I don't know.
Oh, they're different things.
I've read some more Moon Knight and a little bit of Berserker. I'm way behind on Berserker, so I was like, dude, I love Keanu. I gotta finish his shit.
I can't wait for them to get that adaptation out there. There was kind of big Spawn news today. They announced some new writers on the Spawn movie.
I saw Todd McFarlane for some reason say something about
they're going
to
redo it.
They're making a new Spawn movie. Jamie Foxx has been attached to it for years, but now they have the writer from the Joker movie and some of the writers from Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Ooh.
And
Steve
that's
John McFlurry. Yeah, Steve somebody.
So apparently there's still, but it's funny, after watching Sandman and then starting to rewatch Sandman, I'm like, I don't even want comic book movies anymore. I want comic book series, because Sandman was done so well that it just, comics translate so much better to series, in my opinion.
You can tell the whole story.
Well, yeah, and
you have more time.
You know, comics are set up the same way. You know, they're episodic.
Right.
I would much rather see a Spawn series at this point than a Spawn movie. But I think Todd McFarlane's really hung up on doing a movie, you know, than the prestige of that. But man, that Sandman series was so good, it just blew me away.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I know Lord of the Rings isn't a comic, but damn, I wish that would have been a movie instead of a series.
It'd be just.
I wish with Lord of the Rings, I wish they had never touched it again. That's what I wish, because if that's what they were going to do, then they shouldn't write it, because it's not. Did you like
The Hobbit?
Good.
I tried to get into The Hobbit when they did it, when they released them.
I saw the first movie and I was like, no.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings I haven't seen better than the Hobbit series.
I haven't seen Hobbit 2 or 3. I liked the Hobbit cartoon, the Rankin and Bass cartoon that I grew up with.
Yeah,
I loved that as a kid.
Yeah,
with the rotoscoped animation. They did Hobbit, and I think they did Return of the King.
Nothing gives me that
introduction to Lord of the Rings.
Nothing gives me that feeling like I had watching Fellowship of the Ring the first time. That scene at the end where he's just fighting off all those orcs, and then you know the Hobbit's got to run, and Sean Bean's taking arrows and shit. And I'm like, oh man! Yeah. And Return of the King, like Rob was saying, that was awesome when you know Aragorn comes off the ship with all those ghosts and everything. You're like, fuck yeah. Like I thought
they were good movies. I just never got into them like everybody else did. I don't need to watch the extended cut 62 times.
For me, it was the Two Towers, the Battle of Helm's Deep. That one hit hard for me, man, when they're like sending the kids in because they had no choice, not because it's funny like in Thor.
Thor had no choice. The kids were going to get slaughtered.
No, they weren't. He's a goddamn god. Figure it out, you fucking move.
He's fighting another god. He's busy. He's got to do some shit.
Taika Waititi came up with garbage. Just admit it. All right. Taika Waititi he's a great writer normally. He turned out garbage. That's the reality of that.
That's called Paycheck, baby. Paycheck.
Exactly. That was a paycheck movie.
The first one he did.
In Helm's Deep. The Battle of Helm's Deep, it was very poignant when they were arming those kids. Like, it was very sad when it was like, and you see the parents reacting. It was terrible. It's horrible.
Get your ass out there.
Right. It was fucking horrifying. And Thor, it's a joke. It's like, fuck this. I fucking hate Thor so much. God, I hate Thor. I hate gods. I hate Thor. Fucking stop. And somehow he's had more movies in the MCU than any other character.
Yeah.
What fucking sense does that make? One of the worst characters, and he's had 4 movies now. What the fuck?
He's a good-looking man.
He is a good-looking man. So I'm sure
they have lots of good-looking dudes in those movies.
So Sean's saying he hates that. So I'm sure a couple podcasts from now, he's like, I watched it 10 times.
You are disturbing the peace.
Am I disturbing the peace? How am I disturbing the peace? What, am I talking about Helm's Deep? You don't like the Helm's Deep stuff?
You shut up.
The Helm's Deep stuff is very disturbing for Maggie. She won't watch that movie.
I thought you were talking about Thor.
No.
That was the one where everybody had to.
The only reason I went back to Venom is because I love Venom. I'm not going back to Thor. I've seen all the Thor movies. I enjoyed Ragnarok. That's as far as it goes. That's it. That's my love for Thor. I liked Ragnarok. I liked his part in Endgame, or no, maybe it was Infinity War. I liked him in Infinity War. And I like that he had that little bit of redemption in Endgame, but he should be a side character. Stop giving him movies.
He's apparently he must be big in the universe.
Popular doesn't equal good. We've been over this a million times. Dave Matthews Band.
Like, no, you're saying why they give him so many movies because he's a popular character. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
that's what I mean.
Great. I'm just saying.
But that's what I mean. Like, yeah, he is popular, but to me, that doesn't equal quality. They're two separate things.
To you, I loved all the Thor movies.
Yeah, you would. You like everything.
You didn't like Ragnarok? You didn't like Ragnarok.
I just said I liked Ragnarok. I liked Ragnarok. But is it going to change my whole view on Thor?
It should, because he's just fucking jumping in the air. They're playing Zeppelin. Lightning's crashing. You should have been a Thor fan forever.
That was a cool scene that they tried to duplicate like 5 times in this new movie. How many times did you see him where they did the same fucking shot of him jumping in the air because it worked one time?
What was the music? There was a music theme in this one. I forgot what it was.
It was Guns N' Roses.
That's what it was. Guns N' Roses. That's right.
That was a musical fucking crutch.
You didn't like the Van Damme split with the space?
Oh my fuck! I'm gonna end this podcast. Like that was.
Wait, what was that? I don't remember.
I just wait. So I knew he forgot about it. I knew.
What was that?
That was
so bad.
That was probably the worst.
When was that? What happened?
You were saying all the other stuff, and you never brought this up.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, it was. You probably just took it out of your head.
Van Damme split in the air to stop these vehicles, and then he lets them run into each other.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was the beginning.
It was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
Boy. It was
everything was so stupid.
I'll be watching that after the podcast.
And dude, and you guys know I love Taika. I love his movies. Going back to Flight of the Conchords. Yeah. This was a paycheck movie.
Yeah.
He had nothing to say here. He was just like, goats, let's do the goat thing.
That's what I was saying.
That was the best joke he had in the whole thing.
He probably got $1 million for Ragnarok.
Was good.
And he got $10 million just to make this one.
Right.
Sure.
And dude, I'm not mad at him. I would take the job too. And
this will fund more of our other movies that we like from him.
Yeah, hopefully.
Isn't he gonna do a Star Wars? He's gonna do. They said
he's supposed to be doing a Star Wars.
But what? I don't know. I mean,
so you said on. Sorry,
it's gonna be 20 years before we see another Star Wars movie. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you say on Thor that a lot of people didn't like it? Is that what you were saying earlier?
I don't think it got good reviews.
It didn't get good reviews.
It did good at the box office, and that's all that matters. Yeah, so we'll see another one most likely.
The goats are back, and Natalie Portman's still alive.
Did any of you guys watch Avenue 5?
Never heard of it.
On HBO.
Isn't that like a Star Trek kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a spaceship. It's like a luxury cruiser.
Oh wait, is that the one about House?
Yes.
Oh, I did watch some of that.
It was like 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Well, evidently, I just got a text. I saw it from HBO or an email. It says Avenue 5 is debuting this month. Like
wow,
October
I forgot
10th.
about that one.
That's what I thought. I thought they just canceled it. I thought they canceled it.
I keep getting
that show was hilarious.
I keep getting that confused with the guy from Family Guy, the creator. He was in like a Star Trek show too.
This was really funny.
Okay.
It's like no, this was funny.
Yeah.
Orville,
the first season.
Orville.
I like Orville, but you guys won't like it because it's very. The first season they tried to be funny, and that's what I think got them on. And now it's more like Star Trek.
I think you'd be surprised. Sean likes Venom 2 now, so he might like.
Sean won't.
I liked the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. Like as much as I hate J.J. Abrams, I do like, and I really like the Simon Pegg one. I thought that was the best one, the one he wrote. I think he directed it too. I'm not sure, but I liked that last trilogy.
I don't think he directed it, but he did produce and write it. I think.
Yeah. Okay. He just wrote it. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked all three of those.
I loved them. I love Star Trek though.
Is that done? Or are they making more of those Star Treks with J.J. Abrams?
Allegedly, they're trying to do another Kelvin timeline.
But the shows seem to be doing pretty well on the apps, from what I understand.
Yeah, Picard is good. I mean, they're good. Discovery, I love the first 2 seasons, but they're okay. What's the other one they got? They got another one.
They have like 28 spinoffs, the Star Trek stuff.
Oh, I love the cartoon. It's called Lower Decks. And it's a comedy in the Star Wars universe, and it's actually
Star Trek
canon.
Or Star Wars?
Star Trek. It's actually canon, but it's a cartoon. It's freaking hilarious, dude. It's about everybody on the lower decks. It's pretty funny.
It's like Andor, but funny.
Yeah, but it's a comedy. It's a comedy. It's great. It's
how many episodes of Andor is there supposed to be? Are we getting close?
I was wondering.
I read somewhere there's like 20 something. I don't remember though.
What?
There's at least 12, I think.
Dude, if they don't,
Andor.
if there's 27 episodes,
no wonder
and
why
the
they're
heist is the last one, I'm gonna be very pissed.
I think we got the heist next week. I read
Okay, this says there's going to be 14 episodes of Andor.
That's still a lot.
That's a lot.
That's still a lot.
That's a lot.
Now this says there's 12 episodes. So basically, okay, this says there's 24 episodes. I don't fucking know.
There's
12, 14, or 24 is what we're looking at.
Dude, network television doesn't even put 24 episodes out anymore.
Yeah, those are 22.
Yeah.
Well, we're in for...
It's supposed to have 12 episodes in its first season. Okay, it's supposed to have 24 in 2 seasons, so 12 and 12.
Okay.
So they are doing a second season. I didn't know that.
So, yeah, they do have a second season planned.
That's still a lot.
Maggie is playing...
why they're trying...
I
was going to say,
Maggie's
that's why
my
they're
music
trying
to end the show.
That's why they're trying to build up those characters if they already know there's a second season. Like now that I know that, it makes
I feel a little better now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
I didn't know it was already greenlit for a second.
I could use a little bit of action mixed in. Just a little bit.
Well, like I said, we had the street. Hey
man, we grew up in the 80s. We need some action. I'm sorry. I gotta have my action.
I'm digging this new approach because the last time we got action from them, we got Boba Fett, and that did not land. So let's try this new one.
Let's
try this new approach.
Action.
No more,
not Shark Girl and Lava Boy action
with the Power Changers. Power Rangers.
Go Power Rangers.
I'm up for the character stuff. After Boba Fett. Oh, fucking Boba Fett.
Can't believe it.
All right, so what are we covering on our next episode? Are we going to do another episode? Is this our last episode? What's the deal?
No, you know me. I'm always ready.
I'm not going to say anything, but I'm still running here. So...
Yeah, you didn't. No technical difficulties.
I mean,
no technical difficulties on Rob's end.
For the listener, we've done like 3 other episodes. They just kept getting, we had technical difficulties. We've been trying to put them out there for you.
I did not go into the hospital. I had problems with computers. But I really think it was Zencaster.
It could be because this is a whole revamped site now, so maybe they got better. The last thing we were supposed to talk about was The Matrix Reloaded, and I watched it again, and I don't want to talk about it because it just makes me angry that no one liked it when I watched it again. So,
you
watched it again?
Yeah,
I love Reloaded.
Reloaded.
Oh, Reloaded.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Reloaded.
No, wait a minute.
We were supposed to talk about Reloaded the last time we did a podcast.
I thought we were supposed to talk about The Flash. No, I don't remember. All right.
No, we did.
Wait. Matrix 2, right?
Yeah, Matrix Reloaded.
Matrix Reloaded, and then and what was this third one?
Revolutions.
Then Resurrections is the last one.
Resurrections was the bad one.
Yeah.
Right. Reloaded is my favorite Matrix film.
Yeah, and that's why I'm angry.
I loved Reloaded. I loved it. I thought it was
watched
awesome.
it for the show, and I wrote all these notes down, and in the end, I was just like, I just got angry because nobody liked it. So I was like, fuck, we're not talking about it.
Who didn't like it?
Everyone. Everyone. The only reason it got another movie is because they were planned on filming at the same time.
All right, so here's what we're going to do, because I got to take a shit. We're going to read Spawn number 150. It's one issue.
What's that on?
If you like it, keep reading.
It's
on my Comixology account.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to get rid of the other ones.
Rob said fuck to one issue.
No.
Fuck.
I paid like $20 a goddamn month for these other ones, and we never cover anything on them.
That's not true, but I mean, we haven't done anything recently, so yeah.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, Spawn issue 150. They brought in a new writer. If you want to keep reading, but I'm only giving you one issue to read. And if you want to read more. Otherwise, that issue.
How long's the arc? 6, 7?
It's 8? Like 15 issues or something.
Oh fuck no! I'll read one.
So
we'll be discussing one issue next week.
All right, but I got to go because my bowels are moving.
All right, you probably
I'll leave
take
you
care
with
of
that imagery.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for listening. hey, we made it all the way through.
Yeah.
And that's great.
That's nice. And Rob's
All right.
racist.
We'll be back. We'll be back on
Dude,
our
what the
quarterly
hell,
podcast.
man?
We'll
You
be back
know
in
I'm
3
not.
months.
Just kidding.
Come on.
It's a joke. It's a way to end the show. Let's get out of
So
here.
bad. God.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Fucking Confederate
Peace.
flag behind me or something.
You should totally do that next week. You should put
Jesus.